On to Brandon Royval versus Rogerio Bontorin. Brandon Royval is a fucking menace at the 125 division, man. But he's coming off two losses. He's 12-6 overall, coming at 5'9", 70.5 inch reach. And Rogerio Bontorin coming at 17-3, 5'5", with a 67-inch reach. This is an interesting fight for multiple reasons. It'll be interesting to see that if Bontorin makes weight. He didn't make weight last time, and he looked ginormous. He was saying that he was like 160 leading up to the fight, which is, obviously quite a bit bigger than the 125-pound weight limit. But he didn't have any gassing issues on that 3-round fight that went all the way, which is kind of crazy to me. But it'll be interesting to see how exact. I want to know what you think. Somebody that's bigger, has more power in Bontorin versus Brandon Royval, who's more on par for the size of 125, but is just so fucking active. He weaponizes his cardio at 125, which is saying a lot.
Well, it's interesting because I like the word menace. Brandon Royval is usually a menace on the ground, which I think is why it was so crazy to see what Alexandra Pantoja was able to do to him last time out.
He just
This
got
dude,
caught. He rolled into something and he got caught. He couldn't worm his way out.
well, he wasn't able to stop the takedown. He was on his back a lot, which is not really what I see happening in this fight. Uh, but I think these guys are both pretty good on the ground. I think they're both pretty serious grapplers. So unless somebody gets caught, which is, very possible when you have two guys that are so good at jujitsu, it's like we just talking about. It's very possible that somebody just rolls into something. But I think Royval is just a little bit better technically on the feet than Bontorin. So I think the footwork and I'm not saying it's drastic. I'm not saying he's going to dance circles around him all night, but I don't think that he's going to walk into a power punch. And I think the cardio will be there just a little bit more late in the fight.
All right. So let me kind of lay out my process of thinking here. So you have maybe a more technical striker in Brandon Royval, right? But on the flip side, I wouldn't say that it's a huge gap between him and Bontorin. Bontorin definitely has a substantial power advantage, and you can see that his power for 125 is probably up there with the top guys, right? I think Bontorin, if he hits a shot, most likely most of these 125ers are going down. Two, I think that, like we said, there might be an edge for Royval in the cardio. He puts cardio on him, but when he does it, he rolls around and he does a bunch of crazy shit on the ground. That Bontorin, he's not a slouch on the ground. He's choked out many people. He can definitely catch Royval doing some spinning shit, whatever on the ground and catch him in a rear naked choke while he's trying to roll out of something. So, I really think that if Bontorin makes weight, I think you're gonna want to go with him, especially since he's an underdog this week. Because I don't, even though Royval can be more technical on the feet and jab and move, I think that there's an eraser there somewhere for Bontorin. I think that a finish for Bontorin is probably the most likely outcome.
Look, I thought listening to the interviews, I think that was part of the reason I wanted to pick Brandon Royval. He told the press straight to their faces, I'm coming in this bitch with a crazy fighting style this week. And I think that just enticed me because I think Bontorin's a little bit stiff for my tasting. I think that's the word I was looking for. And I think the fluidity of Brandon Royval is just going to play into his favor. But
Most of the times I would agree with you, Zach. That I like that style. I like the just jitter bug movement, the Dominic Cruz, the Sean O'Malley types where you don't know where they're going and they're real technical with it. I just think I think Brandon Royval puts himself in bad positions when he does shit like that. He doesn't time it. He doesn't have very well timing. He doesn't time shit very well. Even on the ground too. Like I said, he gives up his back too much, especially to somebody like Bontorin who will choke him out.
it's just interesting. I think Royval's fought the better competition. Being on a 2-fight slide, you're talking about a slide to the current champ and perhaps the number one contender behind Davison Figueiredo after the trilogy in Pantoja. But the common opponent in Kattar France, Royval was able to get him to the ground and get the guillotine when they fought. And Bontorin was knocked out, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, KO'd in the first round.
But he was winning that fight all the way up until he got caught.
Well, I just mean looking at what Kattar France has turned around and done in the past. What is it, month since he knocked out Cody Garbrandt?
That's right.
I think Royval is just going to be a little bit better. That's my thing. I don't think this is going to be anything substantial.
No.
And as long as nobody gets caught, that's the best word in the business, because this could be a bomb. Somebody could get tanked or somebody could get their arm broken. It could be intense. But as long as nobody gets caught, it's going to be close.
On the bright side, most 125 fights don't make it on the main card. This is actually worth watching. We've given a lot of shit to flyweights in the past, but this is actually worth watching. These guys are going to be entertaining nonetheless.
Yeah, I was about to say one of our favorite quotes is "bitch made babyface division," but these gentlemen might have baby faces, but they don't throw hands like it.
No, but the odds say that Rogerio Bontorin is the plus 150 dog, and Royval is a minus 160 favorite. And I think Brandon Royval just had a lot of hype on his name to begin with, until his recent slide. But it's hard. There's a mental aspect to the sport that not many people factor in. When you lose two tough, basically finishes in a row, you have no idea what it can do to a person's psyche and confidence. Confidence is a lot in the octagon.
No, that's a huge factor. And honestly, that could play a role here. But I just look at the persona of Royval going into fight week. He looks pretty good. Like he's going to make weight. I think that'll be to his advantage. I know you kind of mentioned it, but he's not going to cut nearly as much weight as Bontorin. So I think he might just be a little bit fresher, but Royval wins by decision at plus 505.
Dude, I just don't see this one going the distance,
I like to agree with you, but I don't know, man.
That's nice odds. I'm not gonna lie to you, plus 505 for Royval. But look, I think you stick the money line if Bontorin makes weight by Friday, Friday, right?
Yeah,
if he makes weight by Friday, you stick with him. Unless he's dying on the scale, from my perspective, of course. But you see this differently. Bontorin wins inside the distance. Plus 347 is a home run, I think. Not as good as odds as you, but you could hedge those together.
I just mean, if you're out there watching this, the odds are tasty this week.
Yeah,
we've been rolling the dice differently, but the odds are tasty this week.
Those are two damn good odds, especially for a flyweight fight. We know much action doesn't usually happen, but I think this is going to be some fireworks this week on that one.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.